And these are the results, and what it does is enhances the bands.
It looks like there are at least two kinds of contaminants on the fabric. One is a protein-based material, the other is a fat material. Both are common. You find them everywhere. So we found that the dress is contaminated and those contaminants are common. We got a better sense of exactly what the contaminant was on the fabric.
I can't tell whether they were human or not, but they were biologically probably related.
The physical evidence is consistent with the story, but it does not say that that something or someone else was an alien or a human or anything else. So it's inconclusive.
But there's one final twist to the Betty and Barney Hill case, one that to this day remains unexplained.
What about the star map that Betty Hill drew? When she was regressed, she drew a star map of where the alien on the spacecraft told her they were from. In fact, he actually showed her a diagram in space of where they were from. Marjorie Fish, 8 years later, was able to show that there were stars in that Zeta Reticuli system, that twin star system that Betty said existed.
Zeta Reticuli is a star system centered around two main stars approximately 39 light-years away from Earth. Astronomers did not map this system until 1972. While Betty Hill's star map from the late 60s closely matched the newly mapped star cluster, Betty's diagram showed 3 stars too many.
The map didn't even match.
But in 1972, when we had the technology to see that sector of space, what did we find out? The exact same 3 stars that Betty Hill said were there, and it became an exact match.
Really?
How could Betty Hill have identified the exact location of that star system and the exact configuration of those stars? She identified it, she drew it, she diagrammed it before we even had the technology.
Since Betty Hill reported being abducted and subjected to an invasive medical examination, thousands more have reported undergoing the same ordeal. But a new twist to the abduction phenomenon has been uncovered in recent years. Abductees around the world have been discovering alien devices implanted in their bodies. This may be actual video of an alien implant inside a human body.
The object is moving on its own.
It's just freaky.
Disturbing and invasive medical procedures have always been associated with reports of alien abduction. But in recent years, dozens of abductees have come forward with something else. They have told UFO researchers that their abduction memories have been followed by the discovery of unknown objects embedded in their flesh. The team interviews Tim Cullen of Yuma, Colorado. Colorado has long been a hotbed of UFO activity, according to researchers. On August 27, 1995, 21 witnesses in 13 locations around central Colorado reportedly see a massive cigar-shaped object performing incredible maneuvers. These sightings continue over the next 48 hours, making it one of the most important mass sightings in recent U.S. history. One witness actually captured this object on tape.
Thank you.
Tim has had several close sightings of a UFO and subsequently discovered a strange object implanted in his body.
It began in May of 1978. I was coming home from Denver with my wife, and we were coming up Highway 59, and a UFO came down in front of us on the road. It was about 100 foot long, 20 foot wide, 10 foot high.
Tim spotted the object on Highway 59, 12 miles outside of Yuma.
The craft moved out here into this pasture, and I think it landed approximately out here in this area right here. And all of a sudden, just 2 lights come on, one right above the other, real bright. And it seemed like we sat there 4 or 5 minutes. And turned back to my wife and said, well, we might as well go to town. Then 4 years later, I found this piece of metal in my arm.
There is no wound that would mark a point of entry, and Cullen had MRI scans prior to the UFO sighting, which proved that there was no metal in his arm at that time.
So here it is. Here's the object. Looks like a couple of inches up from your wrist.
The team consults with Dr. Roger Lear, a California-based surgeon. Dr. Lear has facilitated the removal of over a dozen objects from individuals who claim they had alien implants. Most of those alleged implants were never tested. Of those that were, all were found to be either of earthly origin or the tests were inconclusive.
Is there any way this could be just a biological secretion of some sort, some deposit, a fatty
Absolutely
deposit?
not, because the metals that are in this object are not secreted by the body. They're all foreign to the body.
And you would say that if an object that size entered externally, there'd be a discernible entry wound.
There's going to be some portal of entry. And we looked at his arm. There was no scar whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I think is I'm getting a professional opinion of a medical doctor who's telling me that this is an anomalous object and that he's had 3 labs look at it, and all 3 of the labs said that this is a very unusual object. My main concern is that this is just a piece of metal that somehow got into into Jim's body.
Further, the object triggered no rejection or inflammatory reaction in Tim's body. In fact, upon removal, it was discovered that Tim's body had surrounded the implant with a large bundle of nerves, a highly anomalous reaction in response to the presence of foreign material.
So you say there was tissue around this thing. Can we see the video?
Sure.
The object also displayed abnormal behaviors during its surgical removal. The entire event was caught on tape.
This is the video of the operation.
Look at the size of that pad, you see? Object,
Yeah,
there it is.
here it
Now
is.
look
how it's moving away.
See,
See how it's moving
see,
away?
there's your proof. Pat, you see that? The object is moving on its own. The tool isn't pushing
look
it.
at it.
It's moving inside Tim's arm.
I can't be 100% convinced until we get a super close-up of this thing and there's just something completely bizarre in there that will blow me away and make me say, you know, this is an alien object.
We don't know what it is, so we'll see.
We can see it moving around on the screen.
I'm not actually.
Now I paused it. You see, it's not actually touching it, right? It's away. So let's play it again.
Okay.
You see that it jumped again?
It jumped again. It's jumping.
Look how it's moving away.
Hey, are you rolling now?
Look.
That's interesting.
Look
but
at that.
he's trying to. Well, that's pretty bizarre.
It's moving on its own. What's making it move? It certainly isn't being touched by the hemostat. It's certainly being touched by anything else. There's no fluid there. You can't see anything fluid in the arm. It's simply moving through the tissue under its own power.
I mean, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. If it's not fluid, then this thing is moving around by itself. Then I don't know what to think. It's just freaky.
While the team finds Tim Cullen's evidence to be remarkable, there are even more recent and troubling cases of implants left behind after possible alien abductions. December 11th, 2007. A 49-year-old Pennsylvania man, Jeff Harvey, contacts the team.
You know what? Let's get back to the office.
In 2001, he became seriously ill with what was diagnosed as heavy metal poisoning.
Hop in.
The cause of the poisoning was never determined. At the same time, he discovered something strange buried in his upper thigh.
When did you first realize you had an object or something inside you?
But what happened was I started losing a lot of weight. I used to weigh 220 pounds. I weigh 140 pounds now. So I was losing tons of weight. I became extremely ill. If this is related to that, I want it out, A, and B, I want this thing analyzed 8 ways to Sunday to find out what the answer is.
Well, what makes you think that this is UFO related?
It's one of the possibilities I'm researching.